This is my last peppermint mocha of the season, and it wasn't my best one, which is kind of unfortunate. You guys are probably looking at the title of this video, and you're probably thinking, am I reading that correctly? Unfortunately, you are. So I thought I'd sit down and tell you about my last month of 2025. I do want to do like a little disclaimer. Everything's fine. I'm obviously okay. And that's really all that matters. Like, is not the things, but like I'm fine. I'm okay. Nothing physically happened to me. And my car's fine. It's found. And everything is all better now, and I definitely wanted to wait to make this video until everything was all resolved. And so yeah, it's a month later and I finally have time to sit down and tell you guys about it. This all happened on the Friday before Thanksgiving. I don't know why I'm smiling, like so happy. It's really not like a haha happy story. But this happened on the Friday before Thanksgiving. So I was running late per usual. That is something that I need to add for like my goal for 2026, just to be on time more and to be more intentional with my time. It's like, I don't know, like I'll plan like my morning correctly, and then I'll set the time for like when I need to start getting ready, when I need to leave the house, everything. And most days I'm still like running late for something. And that was one of those days where I was just running late, and I was already like pressed for time. Like I needed to leave the house like 15-20 minutes ago, something like that. And so I opened the front door to get in my car, and I opened the front door to leave, and I don't see my car parked outside. So I typically park my car like kind of in front of my house, but that night I had parked the car in the driveway. So I was like, I looked at where I had parked the car, and then I looked at my usual spot, and I looked back to where I parked the car, and I was like, okay, well, if you don't know, I'm currently living with my parents. And so my mom, she had to go to work that morning, and I was like, when I had parked, I was blocking her in. And like I said, I was like running about 15-20 minutes late. So I was supposed to leave before her anyways, but because I was running late, I didn't leave before her. So I was like, oh, well, maybe she moved my car so she can leave. And so I was like, let me go check to see if she put it in the garage. I go in the garage, I don't see my car. So first thing I do is call my mom. I'm like, hey, like, do you know where my car is? And she's like, no. And like literally the next thing that comes out of her mouth was, well, it must have gotten stolen. I was like, in my head, I was like, how is that like the first inclination, like the first thought? Granted, nothing like this has ever happened to us before. We live in a decent area. It's like slow, quiet. It's filled with like families or like retired people who's lived in this neighborhood for probably the past like 20 years, just like my parents. So, I get off the phone with my mom, and then she was like, go ask your dad. So I get off the phone with my mom. I don't even knock. I just like go straight into my parents' room, and I'm like, hey, like, did you move my car? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, he was like, no, why would I move your car? And I was like, well, it got stolen. He was like, what do you mean stolen? I'm like, it's gone. And so then he gets all mad. Granted, this whole time I'm fairly calm. Like, I'm running late. I'm running late. By the way, I didn't tell you what I was running late for. So I had an appointment to get my like fingerprint and my ID to start my clinicals. I haven't started my clinicals yet. It's all preparing to start my clinicals this upcoming spring. So I really needed to get to this appointment. So that's what I was like really focused on. And so that's what I was really focused on. And like once I noticed that my car was gone, I was like, okay, that's really, really weird. Like, what do you mean it's just gone? Like I was in denial. I was very strongly like in denial. Like I was like, oh, like it's gone, I guess. And so when I told my dad, I was like, well, yeah, my car's gone. Like, because also at this point, there's nothing that we can do, right? So I call the police and I make sure I go get the license plate, like, because I don't have my license plate memorized, which that's something I really need to work on. But I found my license plate and my dad called the insurance and we're waiting for the police to arrive. So the sheriff or the officer, detective, deputy, I don't know what he was, but when he arrived, when he heard about like the call, he wanted to take the case because he he had another case similar to this with my type of car, the same type of car that I have, being stolen recently. So he was already involved in like this case. He was like semi-familiar. And so I was just another call that had came up. My mom also came back. She has the Ring camera connected to her phone. So we watched the surveillance from that. And I also downloaded it and showed it to police. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert that clip right now. So yes, basically what you see in that footage, if it's not clear, the camera that was used to record that footage was, we have like the Ring storm lights. I don't really know what the specific product is called, but it's like these big flashing lights with the camera in the middle. They're automatic, they're censored. So anytime a car drives by at night or a person walks by, the lights will turn on, and then during the day, if a car drives by or whatever, it records. So it started recording when it first detected the person, and then I guess my mom had woken up in the middle of the night to pray, and so when she was walking through the house turning on the lights, she suspects that's what made him leave. And then which that's kind of a little bit mind-boggling to me because once he started my car and once he drove away, that was not quiet at all. So the fact that she was awake, I'm like, how could you not hear when he drove away? But anyways, so then he came back. So he broke the back window on the driver's side of my car, and that's how he got in. Luckily, my car was found that night. So this all happened around like 3 a.m. And then the police found my car, I want to say around like 10 p.m. Something like that. I was at work when the police found my car, so my parents went to go retrieve the car, and a tow truck picked it up and took it to a body shop. The body shop couldn't do all of the repairs, so it was actually towed again to a car dealership to have all the repairs done there. And so this all happened the Friday before Thanksgiving, like I said, and I did not get my car back until like the week before Christmas. For that whole month, I was driving a rental, and this was during my 12 days of Vlogmas, so I did film me going to go pick up my car. So I'm gonna insert that Vlogmas now. Hello everyone, today is Vlogmas day 8. So I'm currently getting ready to pick up my car from the dealership. I have been driving a rental for the past 3 weeks, and I will do a full separate story time on that on my YouTube. Okay, so now I'm all dressed and I'm gonna go get my car now. First, I do have to stop and get gas. Okay, and I believe I picked up my car on a Friday. Not that the day of the week is relevant at all whatsoever, but so I picked up my car like in the morning time of day. So I picked up my car in the morning, and then I had like an hour or two to like relax before I had to go to work in the afternoon. And this is when the story time really gets interesting. Yeah, my day quickly took a turn. So I was pulling in to the parking lot of my job, and yet again I was running late, which there's no reason, rhyme whatsoever why I should have been running late. I got back from picking up my car in good time. I was relaxing. I mean, I had like maybe an hour, hour and a half, but I was doing nothing. I was at home doing nothing. Somehow was still running late for work. I don't know. It's a problem. It is a problem. So I was running a little late. I wasn't like necessarily speeding to work, but I was definitely in a hurry. I was in a rush, like going from point A to point B, like not looking back. So the not looking back is kind of crucial, because why I'm explaining why I'm running late, why I'm quite in a hurry, because when I'm pulling into the parking lot, like trying to find me a parking spot, this is a Friday, I believe, and the parking lot is very busy. I work part-time in retail, and this was the week before Christmas, so very, very busy. And I hear and see sirens flash behind me. So I'm kind of like, I'm driving in front of the store and I'm turning into the parking area. Like I'm in the parking lot, but I'm like not in the parking area per se yet. So I'm like making a turn into the parking area where all the spots are. And that's when the light starts to flash. And I'm like, okay, well, they have an emergency, they have a situation, whatever, let me try to get out the way. And so as I'm like I'm in the middle of a turn, so as I'm trying to complete my turn, it's 2 cars, and they then trap me in the middle of the road. So this is not like a business road. I am still in a plaza per se. So I am blocking traffic, but I'm not in the middle of like an intersection or anything like that. And so I was like, oh, they're pulling me over. And I was like, okay, wait, I know what this is about. I'm running late from work, and that's the main thing on my mind. Like, I need to get in there. I'm about to be very, very late. Like, I see the officer comes towards me, but like I said, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I know what this is about. So he tells me, he's like, roll your window down. So I roll my window down, and I'm like, is this about the car being stolen? Because this is my car. This is my car. I just got this car back today. This is my car. And so then he asked for my driver's license. He was like, well, let me see your driver's license to like verify or sort this all out, whatever. And so I give him my driver's license, and then like I said, there was 2 cars. So the first officer was like parked beside me, and the second officer was parked right behind me. And so the second officer then comes to my window. He was like, your car was stolen. And I said the date. I was like, my car was stolen right before Thanksgiving. So he was like, your car was stolen? I was like, yes. Granted, not in the correct mindset at all of dealing with law enforcement, because after it happened, I thought of all the things that I was doing incorrectly, which I will talk about in a little bit. But so I was like, yes. So he asked me if he was like, so your car was stolen? I was like, yes. And so I go into my glove box, my glove compartment, and I get a piece of paper and I show it to him, which is from the sheriff's office in my county that like has all the information from when my car was towed once they found it. So I give him that, and then he walks away, and then he comes back, and then he tells the other officer, he was like, all right, we're gonna move this all down to the end of the parking lot so we're no longer blocking traffic, because like we were blocking the whole like parking area. No cars were moving. Like I was very embarrassed because this was all happening right in front of the store that I worked at. So we moved to the back, and so he was like, so when was the car found? I was like, it was stolen on this day and it was found on the same day later on that evening. And I just got it back just now, just got it back from the dealership, and they had to replace the whole dashboard. And so I literally just got it back today. So speaking of repairs, I realized I did not go into detail on what actually needed to be repaired on my car. So like I said, he did break the back driver's side window, but then when he went to go start my car, he affected more wires than necessary, I guess. I don't know, he just messed up the interior dashboard of my car. So the whole dashboard had to be replaced. So it went from like $1,500 in repairs to $5,000 in repairs, which insurance covered, thank God. But so yeah, that's why it also took a little bit for my car to get back. So I told the officer that. I was like, yeah, I just got my car back today. The whole dashboard had to be replaced and everything. So he gives me that paper back. I put it back in my glove compartment, and him and the other officer, they apologized for what had happened. He was like, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I'm sorry that we had approached you like that. And they were like, we are taking your car out of the system so this doesn't happen again. And so I tell him thank you. I park my car and I go into work. And so now we're gonna get into what I would have done differently if I wasn't in a rush to get into work. And I was thinking, in the moment, I felt like I was thinking clearly, but my mom was also a little bit preoccupied, and there was just things I would have done differently if I was in that situation again, which hopefully I'm never ever in a situation like that ever again. That was also my first time ever being pulled over. It was the most insane way to ever get pulled over. Like, it's not like I got pulled over for like speeding or like my headlight was out or something like that. Like, they got pulled over because they thought I was a thief, and they were treating the situation as such. So I get into work and I tell my manager, I'm like, hey, I spoke with another manager, telling her like I was late because I had a situation. And so one of my coworkers heard me, and she's really silly. I love working with her, but she was like, yeah, another coworker I know speaks, I don't want to mention names, so to be like this person, this person, this person. So coworker A heard me and she was like, yeah, coworker B said that she saw a gun. And I was like, oh yeah. Granted, like I said, I was so focused on getting into work. I saw when that first officer came out and he unholstered his gun. But like, I didn't even like, I saw it, but it didn't register to me. And like, I knew why they were pulling me over. They were pulling me over because the car was stolen. But I got the car back. This is my car. Everything's fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. It'll be fine. And so, and then once I like literally did my whole spiel of like, hey, this is my car. It's okay. Everything's fine. It's okay. He like immediately put his gun away. Like, I never felt in danger, and they no longer perceived me as a threat. So him having his gun out to me was honestly really like a minor thing. I think I would have been more worried about it if my mind wasn't already slightly preoccupied somewhere else. Like if I was just la-di-da-di-da, going on a drive, just bebopping around town and this all happened, maybe I would have been a little bit more shaken up. But like, I was a girl on a mission trying to get into work. And so in retrospect, something else that I would have done once a second officer approached me, before just like turning my back to him and going into my glove compartment, I should have been like, hey sir, I have a paper. I'm just gonna reach into my glove compartment and get this. But I didn't do that. I just turn my back, grab into my glove compartment. Like, he didn't know what I was reaching for. He was like, so your car was stolen? I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh. And like, I was like, oh yeah, I have like, and I was like mid-sentence turned around and like went to go get something because I remembered that I had that paper in there and that would, you know, support what I was saying. So yeah, that was the eventful end to my 2025. That wasn't like the only thing that happened that month. December was honestly a really good month for me. 2025 was honestly a really good month for me, and I know some people had some bad times, but a lot of what I was seeing and a lot of people reflecting on 2025 was also a lot of good. I witnessed so many people that I'm either acquainted with or that are good friends of mine either get engaged or get married, and people had so many and bought new homes and entered children into this world and had so many victories and milestones accomplished and just had a really good and fun year, and as well as I. So it was just so fun and good to see over the last like week, then the last like couple days of the year, of everyone just celebrating in the victories. And I did see some of the opposite, where very little few people did have a not so good year, but they're looking to turn that around in 2026. Or the people who did have a really, really good year, they're looking forward to more victories and more blessings and more good things in 2026. And so yeah, I wanted to share that little story time. It was not in my 2025 bingo card. It was unexpected, an adventure. It, you know, it's not something that anyone would ever want to happen, but throughout the whole thing I remained positive and everything was okay, and everything worked out in my favor, and I'm just so happy to be okay and to be safe. And thankfully I got my car back and nothing was taken. I had nothing of value in my car, so I didn't think anything would be taken. And so yeah, I just needed a little bit of repairs and I got it back, and now I'm back and good to go. But thank you for listening to my TED Talk. yeah, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. And I hope you guys all had an amazing day. I hope your end to 2025 is good. I hope you guys all had a good year and are looking forward to the next.